how to create a dashboard using Looker Studio. Hey everyone and welcome, I hope you're all doing great. In this video, I will show you step by step, or actually the necessary steps that you need to take to create a dashboard using Looker Studio. Now, if you don't know, Looker Studio is going to be a platform for free that you can actually use to visualize your data with reports, with your reports and data that you upload, and you can use the dashboards to create very visualizing, powerful types of view when it comes to your data. This way, you can just after you create it, always check back on it and see how your data is and your reports in one place and the way that you want it to be. So you can actually feel free to customize your dashboard the way you like. So let me not waste any more time and go through these steps. So just look up Looker Studio and you can just click on Looker Studio Overview. And then from here, you'll need to obviously create your account. It's free and easy to do. So just feel free to do it. And now you should navigate to this page where you can actually go ahead and start your report. Now we are going to start a blank report because we want to create our very own dashboard. Now I need to note that you will need to have a CSV file or Google Sheets or other data sources that you have ready to go, because you can't really create a dashboard without your set of data. For me, I will be using the data that is provided by Looker Studio as a sample just for us to use and test Looker Studio. But you can obviously do the same exact steps with your own very set of data. So get to this page, click on blank report and create a blank canvas for your reports. Wait for it to load, it shouldn't take too long. And now we have our blank canvas. So the first step is going to be adding the data. So we just click on the top, which is add data, or you just the screen that just popped up, it should just also pop up for you. It's exactly the same. Just click on add data. And now you have all these sources that you can add data from. So you can see if it's your Looker Studio or Google Analytics. If it's Google Ads, most people use Google Sheets because it goes hand to hand with Looker because they create on Google. Right away integrate it with Looker just makes things easier. BigQuery and much more stuff. And most importantly also is that you can upload a file. It's going to be a CSV file and you can actually go ahead and upload it and it should work as your set of data. So I'm just going to go through the my data sources. Now, if you want to also try out samples before you go ahead and test out on your real data, you can also do so, which I will be doing. I'll just go to my data sources, and here they're going to be listed plenty of sets of data that are samples created by Looker Studio themselves. Let me just go ahead and just use this YouTube data, for example. We'll just click on it, and it's going to work exactly the same way if you connect your very own data. Just click on it, find it, upload it, or whatever it may be, and click on Add. And this should finalize adding your data to your Looker Studio, basically. And it should create a chart for you here real quick. I'm just going to delete this because we don't really need it. And now you have your blank canvas. So in your blank canvas, you will have to go ahead and start designing how you want your canvas to be. And if you want to create a wireframe for your dashboard, you can also feel free to do so. The designing aspects I'm not going to really touch on or show you how to do, because this is going to be personalized more about how you want to style your canvas. I'm going to be talking about how to actually add elements that you need for your data. Now, to get started, obviously just a little bit of designing is you can go to theme and layout on the top right, and we can customize our current theme. We can change the background color, which I will just do real quick, make it dark gray. You can change the text style. You can change more stuff in here. So just feel free to go through these settings and set them up, because they are going to affect the later changes that you have. Now this is going to be for the theme and layout. On the right side, there you will always have these data section here that you can see. It's the YouTube data, and you can see all the data that is included in here, the date, country code, and all of those things. Obviously going to be different through, with your data. And you can also add more data if you want by clicking on add data, and you can just, add more data basically. Which you can do for multiple charts. If you want to create a chart with specific data and another with a different one, you can just do it with this way. Now, about adding stuff. To add a chart, it's very simple. We just click on add a chart, or we can go through the insert. Let me just talk about the insert first. If you click on insert, you will find a lot of stuff that you can actually create. Time series charts, multiple different charts. I'm not going to talk about those yet. Timeline, all of those. But you can also add slider, checkbox, data control, button, text, image, everything. There's plenty of things that you can add, and you can use all of those to your advantage to customizing your dashboard to the best way fully. But you can just click on text, for example, or you can just find text from here, and you can just go ahead and create text. But to add a chart, click on add a chart. I'm just going to use this donut chart, but there's plenty. You can see table charts, bar charts, and so on. So I'm just going to use donut chart. Click here, and the data should be suitable for the specific type of chart, obviously. But regardless, select where you want to put it. You can resize it to your liking. And now you can see the set of data that is using. Now on the right side, if we click on the chart, you can see both options, setup and style. So setup is the most important one. The data source, you would need to select the actual data source that you want to use this chart for. Just make sure you select it. And also you can set up the date range dimension and dimensions to the actual data sets that you want to use. So just click on it and change it if you want. I'm just going to keep it as it is. You can also change the type of metrics, the sort, how do you want to sort it from descending or ascending. It's all completely up to you. And then if you want to add filters and more stuff, it's all going to be underneath the setup section. Now, if we go to style, we also can style it. It's more to our liking, like show title if you want, and give it a title. And we can also change the colors to it. If you want to make it, for example, yellow, you can do so. Click on it, and we have that. I would just like to keep it as it is, and you can just set up more stuff here. So I will add another chart, which is going to be a bar chart. So just click on add a chart. Let's just use this one, stacked column chart. Set it up as over here. Resize it to our liking. And we can just set it up to be equal to that one. And now let's say I just want to use a different set of data. I'm just going to click here. I'm going to actually remove this one and select data source. And I will select a different one, which is going to be world population. I'll just be using this one instead. And it should work. The only error here is going to be the metrics are not correct sorting. Let me just do this. Okay, so I think this data source is kind of faulty, so it's not going to work. But usually you won't have this type of error here, obviously, if everything is matching. So I'm just going to try to play around with it and try to fix it. If not, then I'll just use the actual one that we were just using before. So I'm just going to use this one. And even this one now is not working. Okay, so you just need to make sure you set up the metric correctly, and also the secondary sort, the sort, no problem, but the metric should be correct and so on. So once that's done, you have your charts ready to go. Now you can obviously add more elements if you want. You can go to insert, never mind, let's just go to text, for example, and let's just add a header text over here. Type in whatever you want, so let me just do dashboard tutorial. Now select all, and we can adjust the text size and so much more in here. I'm just going to make it 40 pixels. I'm just going to color it as white, and I'm going to centralize it. And you can see our text is now here. Now, if you want to have, for example, a wireframe, you can also select shapes and create, for example, a square or a rectangle. And now you can change the color of it to make it a little bit lighter gray from the background. Now you can see obviously it's covering the actual charts, so you can just go to the actual shape, click on it as a right click, order, and then bring or send backward. Send backward again, send to back. And then you have your, for example, wireframe. If that's what you want to do, you can just make it smaller and so on. Again, with the designing aspect of it, I'm not going to really show exactly how to do all of those things. Now you can also add images. So for example, if you want to add icons and something like that, you can also do so. You have checkboxes that you can use and menus that you can also use, and so much more stuff that you can actually just have to your advantage of creating a very powerful design when it comes to your dashboard. Now, what I suggest is that your charts shouldn't really take this much space, because you can really add as many charts as you want. You can add a timeline chart if your data set has obviously time that is related to it, and you can just feel free to add more data charts here. So this is basically how you can add your or create your dashboard for your Looker Studio. Just make sure the data set that you're using matches the type of chart that you want to use. And later, just make sure that once you click on it and select the type of data from the setup, make sure the dimensions, the metrics, and all of those things are also matching with the type of data that you're using, so that it works properly and shows you exactly what you want to see. Now, obviously, you can just take the time to design it to your liking and all of those things, but I think I just showed you exactly what you need to do. And again, if you want to add more data for creating different types of charts for completely different set of data, just click on add data and upload your data file or whatever it may be. And it's going to show up as an option in here. If you want to change, for example, this bar chart, you want to change the data for it, we can just delete this one, select data source, and you should find it. And if you don't find it, click on add data again. And this is pretty much all you really need to know when it comes to how to create a dashboard, at least for beginners, or how to get started creating a dashboard. Now, there are going to be more complex things that you can do and play around with, but it's all going to be within the same tools that I just showed you. The insert, you can see all the things that you can actually add, like tables, stream map, all of those things that can actually help you create those crazy dashboards. So with that being said, I hope this video was helpful to you and found it to be, benefiting. And I hope you liked this video, and thanks for watching.